Welcome to the Wheel With It podcast with your host, Devon. Let's get into the episode.
Hello. My name is Devon Wieters, and welcome to another episode of Wheel With It. Today, we have Brigham on the podcast. He was a delight to talk to. We talked about leadership. We talked about the new ebook he's just written. We've talked about his podcast. We talked about all of the amazing stuff he does. He does so much. I don't know how he sleeps, but you are going to love him because I certainly love talking to him. So please enjoy my conversation with Brigham. Hello. Welcome to another episode of Wheel With It. And today I have Brigham on with us today. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Devon. Thank you for having me on the show.
So hello, Brigham. Tell us about yourself.
Yeah, my name is Brigham Blackham. I'm really grateful to be on the show today. I also am a podcast host. I have a podcast called Leveling Up with Brigham Blackham. The focus of my life right now is how do I add more value to more people? I'm always looking for those top leaders in industry and business and real estate investing that want to level up their life, their business through the stories that they tell. So I'm branding myself as a success story strategist. I love to find those ideas that open up opportunity, those ideas that don't just seem nice, but they're frameworks that allow you to break through without having to break down. And I'm always searching for breakthroughs. I love leadership. So I'm so glad that we have a little bit of a topic today about leadership that you want to talk about. I'm so grateful to be on today, Devon. Thank you for having the introduction.
You are so welcome. Tell us about how you got into leadership, and then we'll go from there.
Oh, we're going to go there. Okay. Now, when I was in high school, I was part of a multi-level marketing group that was called Team. Together, everyone achieves more. Basically, every single month you would get a book, a leadership book, and you'd read it, and then you'd discuss it. And I absolutely fell in love with leadership and the idea that when you really dive into leadership, it's about, hey, I'm here to help. It's not, hey, I'm going to tell you what to do. That's management. Leadership is, hey, come with me. Come along with me as I'm doing this. You're setting an example. You're being willing to go first. And that's something I love about leadership is there's so many amazing examples from history that allow you to connect with people and see how they have those patterns of progress. I love understanding patterns of progress because when you understand patterns, you can start to follow in people's footsteps. And leadership for me, that's where it started, was that interest in high school. But I've never stopped having a desire to be a better leader, to live up to my own potential and to see the potential in other people.
That's an amazing answer. So what's your favorite leadership book that you've read?
How to Win Friends and Influence People. I literally have it right here. This is one of my favorite books of all time. Dale Carnegie knocks it out of the park. If you've never read this book, highly recommend it. I've read this many times. I think one of the best things from it is actually remembering people's names and being able to have them indelibly put onto your brain, because I used to struggle with that significantly. But Devon, let me tell you a secret. When you are willing to put other people first, to think, oh, how do I connect with you? How do I remember you? How do I make sure that you are important enough that I make sure that I stick your name into my brain? Suddenly you are a little bit more attractive to other people because you remembered them first. You took the energy that was required to connect. And that's one of the many lessons I've learned from this book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. To add one other thing, one of the strategies that I've employed, because I was a teacher, I taught Mandarin Chinese and theater in high school before I was an entrepreneur. And one of the things that I had to do, because I had 120 to plus students that I had to learn their names every semester. It's a lot of names, right? So I use strategies, some from books like that and other strategies to be able to learn how to learn. So for example, here's one. If you meet a brand new person, Devon, you can say, all right, what is an adjective that person reminds me of or makes me think of? So for you, daring Devon is the adjective that popped into my head. You're daring, you're willing to go out there and share your message, your insights, your ideas. And I think that's very daring. And then you can even attach a adjective to a physical movement. So you're like, daring Devon. Now I've set an anchor in my head for what Devon is, an adjective, and I'll do my best to remember that little phrase and that idea. And suddenly we have a deeper connection. Or you could say, all right, Brigham, how am I going to remember Brigham's name? Brigham Blackham, that's an odd name. Like Brigham, you could think of like the underbeard thing with Brigham Young, right? And you're like, bodacious Brigham. That's one of my favorite ones. So you think about what is it that's going to help me make an anchor or a connection or a hook with that name? And suddenly that adds more value because the most important word in any language is somebody's name.
That is amazing. And daring Devon, I like that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was gonna say bubbly Brigham because you're
I love
very
it.
bubbly.
Thank you.
About that book, I love Survivor. And if you don't know, I'm like a Survivor. I'm a Survivor super fan. I've been watching it for almost 20 years. I took a few years off in high school because I could barely breathe because the classload. But other than that, I've been watching every season. They have about a week before when they get to Fiji or wherever for what they call pregame. Do your interviews, get your cast photo done, get your individual cast photos done, like the headshots. And so a lot of them will bring books and like their iPod to keep them entertained during the pregame because they're not allowed to talk to anybody. So people will bring books, and the number one book that people bring, the title I hear the most is How to Win Friends and Influence People.
It's because it's a great book. It's timeless and it's one of those principle-based books. There's not a lot of great principle-based books out there that have withstood the test of time. That's one that you read it and you can understand the story, and then the story can be instructive all the way through because it's based on true principles. And I love that.
What do you do as far as leadership now goes?
For me, I think that's a great question. As far as leadership goes, I am a father, I'm a husband. I have a team of people that I have following me in one of the affiliate marketing groups that I'm part of. I lead a small team of entrepreneurs. I've got a few virtual assistants. A virtual assistant and 2 cleaners as well in my short-term rental business. So for me, leadership is being the very best version of yourself, being willing to serve. I think Christ is a perfect example of a leader. It's not, hey, look at me, I'm in front of everybody. It's come follow me. This is the way. If you need help, here's where it's at. I think leadership really comes down to being willing to step into the unknown. Oh man, Elsa just came into my head. Into the unknown. My kids love that show. Oh my goodness. I have four kids, three little girls and 1 boy. And they absolutely
Gosh,
love it.
I am so sorry for how many times you've seen Frozen.
Yeah, I've probably only seen it a couple dozen times. It's fine.
What's about your podcast?
Absolutely. So
What's about
my
your
podcast is called Leveling Up with Brigham Blackham. I invite people that are business top leaders and real estate investors to come and share patterns of progress. I invite them because I'm learning and I'm giving my audience an opportunity to connect. One of my favorite things about podcasting is it gives you an opportunity to connect with other people's audiences and to add value and get ideas out there. One of the things that's impactful while I've been doing this, because I started my podcast last October, and my first episode aired in January. And then since January to today, I've done 82 episodes. Been very consistent getting episodes out there. My minimum was 1 time a week, but often I was able to get multiple podcasts in a week. And when you have a focus on adding value to other people, I do my podcast not for me. I do my podcast to create connections with my audience to the speaker and to give opportunity and to create opportunity. It's one thing to have opportunity yourself. I had that as a teacher. I absolutely loved being able to have the opportunity to talk with students and to give them an opportunity to learn and to grow. But it's another to provide opportunity. And I think leadership is about creating opportunity and making that opportunity something that many people see and then want to participate in.
So how do we
That's my
create
podcast.
opportunity for people?
There's so many different ways. Smiling at someone, there's the simplest way to create an opportunity. So yesterday, I was at the gym and I had somebody think that I was somebody else. He smiled at me. He said, "Hey, Derek." And I was like, "My name's Brigham, but I need to get to know you. Thank you for introducing yourself." And we got to know each other. His name was Brad. And I just thought, you know what? We created an opportunity because you're one relationship away from changing the rest of your life. You're one smile away from being able to make a connection with someone. And that smile allows you to start a relationship. You never know when someone needs that little smile. And it can be that simple. Opportunities can be created by adding value and saying, "Hey, you know what? let's do a podcast together. This is an opportunity for you to meet my audience and meet your audience. This is one stage or one platform. There are so many different ways. That's the start of that question. But if you want, I can go a little bit longer. You want to go a little farther on creating opportunity?
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the other ways you can create opportunity is by elevating your mindset, your skill set, and your tool set. Every time you read a new book, every time you listen to a new audio program, every time you think about something that is impactful, you are raising your vibrations, you're raising your ideas. And with higher thought comes more opportunity because you start to create the opportunity. I remember in college, there were times when I thought, oh, am I ever going to be able to be cast as a professional actor? And it was very small as far as the type of opportunities that I had in Provo, Utah, as a graduate of BYU. I was like, man, where do I go to become a professional actor? And as I've been getting older, I was like, I can use these acting skills, these performance skills, these communication skills in so many different elements of business. I can create stages. I can find ways to connect with people. And storytelling is one of the ways to do that. So it's not just about, is there opportunity already out there? It's what opportunity can I manifest and create? What stages can I create? What are ideas that are stuck in my head or stories that are stuck in my head that I need to get out on paper, that I need to get out into the world? And sometimes it comes down to one thing. You ready for this? You ready?
Yep.
Okay. Asking the question, actually going up to somebody that may make you feel uncomfortable and say, you know what? I feel like we need to be friends. What made you successful? Or going out there and saying, what are you curious about? Finding something that you're curious about and tapping into that curiosity. Sometimes the very fact that you're curious, people will give you responses and answers that just blow your mind. And you're giving them an opportunity to share their insights, their mentorship, their ideas. And because there is a mutual exchange of value, there is a connection that's made. So Devon, even right now, we're making a connection. We are going to become better friends because you invited me onto your podcast. That makes sense?
Yes.
Awesome. Hope
That
that
is
answered your question. We definitely could go
that
next
is
week.
amazing. And that's one of the things I love about podcasting is you get to hear all these like perspectives from different people that you wouldn't normally hear from. And it's fascinating. So
For sure.
do you do anything to help other leaders? And if so, what is that? And how can we?
Excellent. So I recently just wrote an ebook. Now, what I did was the last 2 years, I've been toying around with social media and figuring out what do I need to do to make this helpful, to make this a reality of being able to make positive impact in people's lives. So I took a lot of the things that I've learned in different courses from different mentors, from my own personal experience in failing and getting better and failing and getting better. And I condensed it into a 36-page ebook, all about how to improve your social media impact. It's not just about, hey, how do I get more followers? Because it's not just about followers. It's actually about how do I make a positive impact anytime you are online. It is a digital storytelling platform. It's you sharing a story. It's you saying, what if the story that I have today can positively affect somebody? It can help them make a better choice, help them eat more healthy, help them think at a higher vibrational level, help them connect with God more. Whatever it is that your message is, your message is rooted in the mess, right? There's difficulty, there's challenge, that we all go through it. But when we're willing to open up and share that message with others, social media is just one stage that you can do that. Podcasting is one stage. Being in front of different people, that's just another stage. There's so many ways. But for me, if I could give something to your audience, it would be my Leveling Up Your Social Media PDF book, right? That little ebook. And I'd be happy to give you that link and you can opt into my email newsletter and connect with me.
Yeah, and we will put that in the show notes. So go check out the show notes if that's something you're interested in. You have this concept called swap. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh my goodness, this is so good. Last Friday, I was on a podcast with my friend Al Richards. He has this addiction podcast that is how to overcome addiction. He's had hundreds of episodes, and I shared this idea with him. This is going to help so many people. I was like, I want to help more people with this idea because I felt like it was God blessing me with this simple concept. So it's called swap. All right. Now, every single one of us at some point in our life are going to recognize I have a habit that I don't actually like, or I have something that's a recurring rut in my life that I want to get out of. It's different than being in a groove. You're doing the things you want to. That's being in a groove. Being in a rut is, man, I just keep falling back into this habit. Maybe it's eating. One of the things that I struggled with the last year or two was I snacked all the time. I got very large because of it. I snacked. I was a little bit addicted to eating. Okay. And about 4 months ago, I started really getting conscientious of what is it that I need to do to swap out this addiction of food. What do I need to do? And as I'm working on it and thinking about it, I went to Detroit, and my friend Devon Wieters, I love this guy. He's my dietitian, he's my coach for health. He said, let's get really consistent with tracking your food. Let's get really consistent with exercise and doing the small things. And we cut away a lot of those other distractions of snacks. And I was able to go from 245 pounds down to 211 pounds. Massive shift in my weight. And
Whoa,
the reason,
congratulations.
yeah,
That's
thank you so much. The reason I was able to do it is because I swapped out bad things or things that were not helping me achieve my goals for things that were. For instance, I swapped out television for reading 12 pages per day, at least, in a book. Swapped out things like watching a lot of movies, because I used to love watching multiple movies a week, to being able to journal. You think about those little tiny changes. Micro changes can create macro gains. As you think, what are those things that I want to swap out in my life? I've got four little acronyms, or four little words as part of this acronym to help you understand how to swap things out. The first one is it specific? Are you very clear? This is what I want to switch out. I want to stop playing video games and start doing what? I want to stop death scrolling on social media, and I'm going to start listening to educational podcasts like Devon's podcast. Or I'm going to swap out reading comic books that are not helping me to a personal development book, even if it's only once a week. So, number one, that S is specific. The W, is it worthwhile? If you did this, is it worth your time? Is it good? Is it positive? Is it uplifting? Is it something that if somebody else came to you and you were talking about how you spent your day, that it was well invested time? That's worthwhile. For instance, for me, not just reading random books, reading scripture or reading general conference talks or reading personal development, reading things that will help me get closer to my goals. That's worthwhile. And then this A is appreciate. Will you appreciate it yourself in 5, 6, 8 months, 10 years from now? Will you appreciate the books that you read? Will you appreciate the relationships that you rekindled or the relationships that you put yourself into? And then this last one, you ready for this, Devon? This one's good. You ready?
Yep.
Okay. It is positive movement. Now, I feel like this is the key. You do not have to go from 1 to 100. You just need to switch 1 for maybe 2, and then 2 for 3, and then 3 for 4. Are you getting incrementally better, 1% better at whatever it is that you want? The world's going to tell you, hey, you should do this, you should do that, you should do this, you should do this, and then eventually you should all over yourself. And should is a shame word.
That is amazing. I think I've heard that once before, but
Oh yeah, I don't remember where I heard that, but it's so true. You don't want to should all over yourself. You want to make sure the shame that is attached to that word is gone. What do I want out of this life? How can you design your life to uplift and to be a positive source for good? And if you have positive movement, not positive thought, one of the challenges with The Secret, if you ever read that book, is I'm just going to think about it and it's going to come to me. That law of attraction really only happens because you are moving towards that thing. Attraction has to do with action. If you are not acting, you're not taking action, you're not doing the things to put yourself in that positive movement, eventually you're not going to do anything. You'll still be thinking, you'll still be sitting on the couch watching your Netflix. Like, I really want this to happen. I'm manifesting it. But the key to it is the action. Are you taking that positive movement? So swap is specific, worthwhile, you appreciate it, and it's positive. There you go.
That is amazing. I will take that and put it on my phone somewhere because that's amazing.
Excellent.
So is there anything else that you would want to add before we get off here?
Oh my goodness. Guys, I just hope that you find one thing, one of those dominoes in your life that you may feel like is something you've been waiting for so that you can knock it down. I'm going to give you something. This is something that is really important. You ready for it?
Yes. Okay.
If you have been waiting for a sign, you've been waiting for someone to tell you, you know what? You are worthwhile. You can live your dreams. You can do the things that matter to you. You ready for this?
Oh my gosh, he's got a piece of paper that says, "Here's your sign." That is amazing.
Give yourself permission to live your best life, to design that life. And I hope today you take a chance on yourself to say, what if I created that possibility where I can live my dreams, I can speak them out loud, and I can enjoy every single moment, because we only have today. We only have this moment. You think about tomorrow. When you get to tomorrow, you are in today. You only have today. So enjoy that moment and be the best version of yourself that you can. And don't be okay with living a mediocre life. Live the very best that you can, doing the very best with the people that you have. And I can promise you this, as you swap out those negative things for positive, those neutral things for good things, eventually your life will be leveled up incrementally, here a little, there a little, and you will be a better person, and you will thank yourself for it, and you deserve it. You are worth it. God bless.
That's amazing. I would be more than happy to have you on again because you are amazing.
Oh,
And
thank you.
where can people follow you on social media?
Absolutely. Look up Brigham Blackham. You can follow me on Facebook. I have the most amount of content on. So if you go to YouTube, look up Brigham Blackham, you'll find me there. I'm the only Brigham Blackham on there. And look up the Levelin' Up podcast. Be happy
That
to connect
is
more with you guys.
awesome. So don't forget to like this, subscribe to the podcast, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Go follow Brigham on social media. We'll have all his links in the show notes. And we will see you guys next episode. Bye, guys.
God bless.
I just thought that was a fascinating conversation. Again, he was delightful to talk to. All his social media links in the show notes. And be sure to go follow him. Tell him thanks for being on the show. Tell him what you got out of his work, because we have a lot to learn from him. Follow me on social media. I'll put those links in the show notes as well. And be sure to like, comment, subscribe, follow, all the things. And I will see you guys next episode. Bye, guys.
Thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed the show. Remember to follow the show and our guests on social media and subscribe. Be sure to hit the bell so you'll get notified when we upload new episodes. See you next time.